Hi guys, welcome to another video with Cass on the Maizuma channel. Today I want to demonstrate a very simple system that allows you to transport both blocks as well as entities. So let's quickly start with a demonstration because I have a lot of things to show you guys. So yeah, you place a block here, press the button, and the block will be transported to whatever place you want. You can also transport encoded information. So for example, this is a redstone block. So suppose I wanted to send the message, I don't know, this can be translated as almost anything. So 1, 2, 3, and a termination block. It could be a glass block, for example, just to signal that the message is done. And then, yeah, if I want to transport redstone blocks, I actually need to make one change. I need to place one unmovable block at the end. Otherwise, the last few blocks, or the last 12 blocks, 12 pistons will be powered. So yeah, there it goes. Okay, it will of course also work with blocks with gravity. So if I place one of those here, I have barrier blocks here, so that's why they don't fall. Of course, they work as well. Yeah, and that's it. So the redstone for the system is just this. Sticky pistons here, regular pistons here to push the blocks. I don't think I needed, you guys need a tutorial for this. You can see the direction where the observer blocks are facing, right here. And I'm using hoppers here because I don't like the sound of trapdoors, but trapdoors can be used here to replace the hoppers, and it's a lot cheaper. And this is the firing circuit. Those repeaters, they are here to update the observer blocks, and they need to be on 2 ticks, every one of them. So yeah, you can see here, you can pause the video, and also I will leave you guys a map download. So let me show you one more example. This version of the system works almost exactly the same, except it pulls the blocks instead of pulling them. So if you have more than 12 blocks, let me to push, this should be a good solution here. And as you can see, you don't even need to wait for the system to be completely done with moving the blocks to start moving other blocks. Once again, I'm just using blocks with gravity here so that I don't have to delete them in the end. But actually, I also want to show you this. So if you use solid blocks here, in the end of the chain, they will start to behave as a conveyor belt here, as you can see, automatically. You don't need to have a secondary piston pushing everything. So the difference with this system is, first, those repeaters back here, I showed you guys before, they were all on 2 ticks. So if you want to pull, you need those to be on 3 ticks. Okay, and of course you need to reverse the pistons, but other than that, this system is exactly the same as you saw before. Going back to the first example, you can of course use it to transport entities like villagers or other mobs. Even the player will work. Not the fastest alternative, and I want to emphasize that this is a component. The applications to this are up to you. I will try and show you some of the applications, but it's really up to you. Yeah, but usually if you want to transport mobs here, the ideal thing to do is to block any possibility of them to escape. So have blocks here, blocks on the ceiling so that they don't climb on top of the pistons, and things like that will help your case. This is yet another version, a thinner version, but a little bit taller, as you can see here. And this one is designed to pull. So let's grab a sugar cube here and demonstrate how it works. And the advantage to this one is, well, it's fast and it doesn't have any redstone on top here. So the difference with this one, like this block here will break in the end if I don't have this little subsystem here. So let me lock the system here and demonstrate this to you. So fire the system. There the block goes, and when it arrives in the last one, this will not retract. because when the repeaters depower or unpower, it will send another signal and fire this once again. So I had to include this little subsystem here so that it fixes it. It removes the block here and prevents it from getting a second pulse. So as you can see, I'm using only one observer here for each unit, which makes it just making it a little bit cheaper, you know. And all the repeaters on 2 ticks here to update everything. Right here in the middle, let me get to game mode 3. You will see that all the repeaters underneath the pistons are on 1 tick. I'm using sticky pistons here, but actually this system will only pull. Yeah, you have to change a few settings if you want this. It will only push. You have to change a few settings if you want this to also pull. And yeah, have a good look at the system. It's pretty simple and cheap to build. This version here is completely flush with the ceiling, and let me fire this so I have an idea how it works. It will of course transport blocks. Yeah, and I made it 3 tall so that we can test it with Enderman. So here you see, if you place 1 Enderman here, they will not teleport, they will just they'll just keep moving. But if you have many entities here, they unfortunately will not be transported. So you see, they start glitching through the pistons. I have no idea why. Of course, you can keep activating the system, and yeah, eventually all the entities will be moved. But there is one simple solution as well to this. If you have any blocks here, then it will move any number of entities without problems, just like you see here. Bye, Enderman! So yeah, in this system, for example, one idea would be to have 1 block moving in this direction, and then collect the block, move it back in here, and then have this side going backward, so that it basically makes the block go around and around in an infinite loop, so that it never gets stuck here, so that you don't lose the block. Okay, the system is basically this. You have the pushers here, and you have sticky pistons in the middle. Those are regular pistons because they are here just to update this observer block, and those blocks have to be solid. And more observer blocks here, and these need to be on 3 ticks. Yeah, I made a dual conveyor belt here, but you don't need to build both of them. You can build only half of those, and this will work. Yeah, this gets a 3 tick pulse by default. I forgot to mention, but the first models that I showed to you, despite having repeaters all set on 2 ticks or 3 ticks, doesn't matter, the initial pulse, the input pulse, must be 3 ticks long. Okay, even if those repeaters are on 2 ticks, the input must be 3 ticks long. Alright, just like the other system was only for pushing, this one is only for pulling. It's a little bit slower, but it has to be like this, otherwise it won't work. So you see what happens to the blocks. Whenever they get here, they start becoming a conveyor belt. I'm always forgetting these words. By the way, if you don't see me placing any blocks here, don't place those blocks. Though if you place solid blocks here, this will cause a bud effect, and this will power all those 3 pistons, and we don't want that. So yeah, leave these as air blocks or glass or something that is transparent. This is how I fire the circuit. All the repeaters are on 3 ticks. And this is the shape. This is a really simple version of the system. Sticky pistons here also, because this is going to pull. This is the direction you're going to looking for in opposition to the direction of the repeaters, and this is the direction for the observer blocks here and down, and those blocks have to be solid. This is a floor version of the system. It's only 2 wide, and here is the layout. So repeaters on 2 ticks. This is what I mentioned before. Even though it transmits power with 2 ticks delay, the input is a 3 tick pulse created by this observer block here. You can see the direction of the observer blocks here. Those need to be solid blocks. and solid blocks to hold the doors here. This is just so that I can send a update here, 2 blocks tall, 2 blocks high, and solid blocks here, and you can also see the directions of the observer blocks here. So this is the profile of this, and let's have a look at how it behaves. This one is really fast and really noisy. Okay, so let's move a few of them. This is another floor version, and the difference basically is this one has this block here. It has to be sticking out of the floor, and this one is completely flat. But there's no way to power those pistons if this is completely flat. So this is why I made those blocks with gravity. So yeah, this is the layout for this. So the updaters are on 4 ticks. Then you know the directions of the observers here: solid blocks, sticky piston, observer block, and blocks with gravity here. So let's see how this works by placing a block here. So as you can see, this is actually slower, and I basically lift the blocks out of the floor to power those pistons, because I don't think there's another way of doing this and still being simple with the system. Once again, I want to emphasize that I don't know what you are going to do with this. I don't know the applications for you. All I know is this device can be used for many different kinds of transportation. So there is another advantage with this one. If you want to pull instead of pushing, you don't have to change anything except for the directions of the pistons. So I also made a pretty cool version with the triple pushers. So let's have a look at how it behaves. And as you can see, those are all synchronized and really fast. The end here is a little bit weird, but as you can see, the blocks got here without any problems. And I need these because otherwise, specifically this piston will break. Okay, yeah, but as you can see, it doesn't interfere with anything. Let me maybe show you. I think a good application for this is going to be 3 farms. Let's get more here. So yeah, the blocks get where they're supposed to go, and yeah, as you can see here, no problems. Yeah, this is the redstone. The updaters are, let me, from the beginning here, you just create a 4-tick pulse here and feed it to a chain of 2-tick pulses. You can see the directions of the observer blocks here. This is mirrored, so the same pulse that you get up here, you also need to get down here. So 4 pulses feeding into a chain of 2-tick repeaters, and then you can see the observers here. And here at the end, it's a little bit more complicated. You have to, the last one has to be a repeater on 4 ticks to power. You can see the redstone dust here, hopefully, to power those 2 pistons. And this one down here only needs a unmovable block, so I used obsidian here. And also the same trick I showed before. Okay, let's have a little bit of fun and push the system to its limits using redstone blocks here. So you know, guys, that a bunch of bud situations should happen here, but it works fine. In the end, it gets a little funny. So instead of doing this formation, this guy ends up in here. But you can add extra pistons to fix this. If you use this kind of system, you probably know what you're doing anyways. As you could see with all the examples, I made sure to have the redstone all on one side, which basically allows you to have the same layout here and do double lanes like this. As you guys will hopefully noticed at the beginning of the video, this thing is easily expandable, and one nice thing about it is that it will preserve shape. So I haven't tested it, but I believe that with a system like this, it will be possible to even make 3D or 2D printers that don't require flying machines. And as you can see, the entire shape is preserved because the blocks can't fall before they get pushed, because the machine is really fast. So yeah, guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If so, you can leave a like, and or maybe leave a comment, leave your questions if you have any doubts. I will be preparing this as a map download, all of those, so you guys can check those out and for yourselves and do whatever you want, really. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time, guys. Bye.